individuals or what decision I should make. I get answers. Real shit. And sometimes I deny, or I would deny, like, the
Is this mic on
the
already?
decision that the universe, that God told me to make in that moment. And when I would deny it and I wouldn't listen, certain things will happen. Like, people will start doing stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, or um a synchron a
in regards to the vaccines, in regards to health, and you don't want to miss that. Yeah, we said it. I told y'all, we got y'all covered. Y'all ain't believe me. Y'all still don't believe me. You don't believe me until it just happens, until 2021 is here and you like, God damn it. Did all of that just happen? Did she really do that? Did the team do that? Did House of Harlem team really do that? Y'all already know House of Harlem TV got y'all covered, because guess what? We giving y'all another I look for a minute like, should we say it? Is he telling me we can't say nothing right now? We giving y'all another gift. That's right. At the end of the hour, we will be announcing the new person that will be getting a consultation from Joey Bounce. All right. The last winner already got her is already paid for. She didn't get her consultation yet. I doubt it. But her consultation is paid for. So we wish you guys the best. We hope that you get the best out of your consultations. That's right. House of Harlem is treating y'all right. So the best thing y'all can do is make sure y'all hit that like button. And for God knows, please, please take this link right now and share it. Don't be a hater. I know we don't have haters in the House of Harlem TV. All right. So y'all got to make sure y'all take that link, and y'all got to make sure y'all share this link right now, because Joey Bounce is about to give us some insightful information that's going to change your life. And how? What better way? I mean, I know we can change our life by health. I know we can change our life by wealth, and we're about to get both this before this week is even ending. So make sure House of Harlem TV, hit that like button. Make sure you send the link out right now. I'm waiting. Send the link out. Send it out, because we got to get it on and popping. And make sure you have your pen and paper. All right. Make sure, because we don't know if this platform may be shut down. There's too much information coming on in there. I want to know if you guys can hear me, because I'm at a new location, you know what I'm saying? And I'm loving it, you know? And let me know if you guys can hear me, because I got to make sure when this brother come on, everything is right and exact, you know? But I hope you guys are doing well out there, all right? I hope the fam is good. I hope everyone is healthy. And this Sunday, Jessica, right, a licensed nurse, will be dropping some jewels like she did last Saturday. So I suggest you guys go in the archives after this show and rewind select her, because she gave some insightful information. And yeah, I'm about to get that B12 that she was talking about. And if you want to know one of the most important vitamins that we should be taking, one of the most important ones that we should be taking that these doctors are not speaking about, yeah, you're going to have to go into that last show on House of Harlem TV to figure that one out, because that's something that you do not want to play around with. And that is something that we are deficient in, and it's something that we should be taking constantly. And I'm just not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. You got to do your research. And it's just so simple. Go to House of Harlem TV, the last show, last Saturday, was it Saturday? And go on and listen to the show, and you'll find out everything that you need to find out. And yeah, it's 2 shows. It's 1 show split into 2. So you're going to have to watch both of them to find out what's going on. And also, if you want to get in contact with her, all of her information is in the last show. Joey Bounce, he's big at what he do. All right? He's the life of the party right now, because he's what they call the AKA rich guy, the guy that's making things happen. All right. So whatever he's telling you he is doing right now, he already has done, is a part of his life. I know he probably don't want to talk about all of his successes, but hopefully he'll mention a few to let you know, like, he's about that life. So he is the person that you want to speak to. He is the person that you want to listen to make sure that you are accomplishing a lot of things. And I mean, if you want to be in poverty, that's on you. But for me, I'm moving up in the ladder. All right? It is what it is. I need you guys to follow House of Harlem TV on Instagram. Yep. Because we're going to be flooding you guys with a lot of digital flyers of some really great upcoming guests. I'm telling you guys, all the way. We're booked literally all the way to January. All right. So far, so good. All right. And it's gonna keep extending. It's gonna get lengthy. And it's going to get tight to even squeeze people in. I mean, at this point, we're literally squeezing people in on the same day. So we want to make sure that obviously we're getting great information so that we can enhance our life. And why be stingy, right? Why be stingy? So we're trying to share this information with you as well. So the least you can do is make sure that you share the love by sending this link to House of Harlem TV. I'm sorry, sending this link to your loved ones and your family, not to House of Harlem TV. Well, you could do that too, because we'll just send it right back. But what you could do is just send this link to your loved ones so that they can get the information, and to people who you feel that are like-minded, such as yourself, and let's get it popping. I'm waiting for Mr. Joey Bounce to come on and bless us with this information. Sorry for our punctuation, but we at a different location, so we have to make sure that things are right. And if you guys cannot hear me, I need a sound check. Like, what's going on out there? Let me give the chat a shout out real quick. Let's see what's going on in the chat. See what's going on. Well, I can definitely hear myself. All right. Eugenio in the house. I'm over here doing my moderator's job right now. This is his job. He's supposed to be giving everybody a shout out. PJ, what's going on? PJ Peppers. PJ Peppers. It's hot in here. One of the moderators, called Victorian. Yusuf L. Peace, God. How are you doing? How's everything? I appreciate you. Boss Elite. All right. Fam ENT 402. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. 6 SPD IDP. Once again. Asu, what's going on? All right. Henry Saunders in the house. Thank you. I appreciate you. And Terrence is in the house. Crazy World is in the house. Jay Bay is in the house. Shannon is in the house. Everybody, I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I know you're like, okay, I'm tired of hearing her say this right now. But y'all, we gotta talk about a lot of stuff. Y'all already know I cannot wait till Sunday hit. If you guys want to be a part of a really great study group to get information that is closed and private, please put your email, like just text your email and we'll send you a link. It's every Sunday at 4 p.m. And believe me, you get a plethora of information. The information is amazing. It is amazing. Okay. There's no limits to the information. You know, if you're going through some court issues, you'll get some insight on how to handle that. It doesn't even matter if you have a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You should know the bare basics of law to begin with, even if you choose to not represent yourself. All right, we get into astrology, esoterics, we get into history. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So if you guys want to link up with some like-minded people, with some intelligent people to speak about some intelligent things and also to build and do commerce, that's the platform that you want to be on. But if you are able to prove to us that you have sent this link to 2 people and prove that they subscribed, you will be entered into a lottery to get a consultation. I'm tongue-tied. To get a consultation with Joey Bounce. All right. We announced the winner for Jonah Bay last Thursday. All right. And hopefully she'll get on and tell us her experience, which I'm pretty sure should be good, you know, if she chooses to, because it's private and, you know, people have their own issues and they want to speak to people in the private to kind of get some remedy as to what they need to do. So we'll let you know. But House of Harlem is always constantly giving back to the community. And I suggest you guys follow us on IG, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Patreon, and go to Diggy Dom Music as well, because we have a lot of guests, really special guests on the schedule. It's already confirmed it's on the schedule. I'm not saying too much. You just got to see. All right. So I appreciate you guys. What's going on? My moderator, we trying to get our brother on right now. And I want to piggyback from a question that we had last week. So if you guys can please give me some clarity on that, I would appreciate it. You know what? Well, there are 3 questions that we can kind of like go into real quick before our guests get on. All right. And one of them was, and you guys should just put yes. Have you ever been caught in bed? All right. So that was the question. I believe 1 or 2 people answered the 2 shows ago when we asked that question. But I would appreciate it if you guys can let me know, have you ever been caught in bed? I also want to throw out there, I had a very interesting conversation with a person, and I am asking some brothers to be on a panel to discuss relationships. But the first part of discussion in the relationships will be about threesomes. Okay? I had a very interesting conversation with 2 brothers thus so far in regards to if a real man, right? Because I have to do that because, everyone have their definition of what a real man is. Everyone has their definition of an alpha male or whatever. But if a real man is in love or love a woman or is married to a woman that he is in love with, would he agree to doing a threesome? So that's my question. Now, the person that I did speak to, I'm just going to throw this out here and hopefully he can be on the panel. I'm asking a few men to volunteer to have this discussion, but he said no. He said no. And it was a little bit surprising to me, but I would definitely be interested in hearing your perspective on that. And let me throw out there off the bat, it is not involving another man. This is just 2 women and a man. So any man who is willing to be on the panel to have an open discussion about relationships, but to answer that question in particular, please hit us up, please email us, because we're planning on doing, a couple of other things other than House of Harlem TV. And we want to make sure that we have adult and conversations. And I know that the men that do volunteer to come up, and I have a few that are willing to have this discussion, it'll be very insightful for women, obviously, of course, to understand how to choose the right man in her life and what men consider being in love with. So that's very important. But it also is important for the younger men, the teens and the young adults, to understand what it is, what are the basic fundamentals of being a man if they don't know, and just to have some insight on different perspectives of a man. Now, to my understanding, everyone have different personalities, but men are wired pretty much the same, so they have more similarities than anything. Well, with that being said, we got the brother we got the brother on. How are you doing? All right, he's not on the screen right now where you guys can see him, but I definitely see him. We got Mr. Joey in the house. What's going on, Joey? My apologies, because we are at a different location, so you can hear me? Okay. All right. He just gotta We got it connected. Hold on 1 minute. You heard me on YouTube? You heard me ranting? You got the Moorish flag up there, you know what I'm saying? Doing big things. That's right. Well, at least that's the great benefit of having the mask, right? You get the represent, get to represent your nationality. Side. You see, you guys hear me laughing and stuff, but I'm actually talking to Joey right now, and we're trying to get him on so that you guys can see him. But he already, you know what I'm saying? He ganging it up already. That's crazy. Right. We can hear. We can hear. We can definitely hear you. Peace to the gods.
Oh, everybody's saying they can hear you.
What's popping? They can hear you. They just need to see you. That's all.
I'm about to fix all that.
You know, Moors are handsome, so you know we definitely got to see the brother. Peace to everyone in the chat. We are asking you to be patient at this time. We're making sure that
So everybody can hear Joey. Am I correct? Let me know in the chat. They say they can hear you. Well, I mean, he's not. Okay, all right, cool. Because he's not speaking, so it's all good.
yeah, he's not speaking at this very moment, but when he was, you can hear him, right?
Yeah. All right, so we good.
Go music. Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know I got my pen and paper out because I'm ready to be rich. You know how Rick James usually say, I'm Rick James, bitch. I want to make sure I rehearse my lines. Like, I'm rich, bitch. Excuse the language. But
We good now. You in there.
he in there like swimwear. Are y'all ready? I was saving my energy. Doing a drum roll. What's poppin'? How are you guys doing, man? Y'all got Joey in the house right now. How you doing, brother? Oh, wow. He can't hear me. I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well. And they can hear you as well.
Hold on. We're about to fix that up right now.
Oh, that's something that we can do on our end.
Yeah, I'm about to fix that.
Hey, chat. What's going on? We got a lot of people in the chat right now. They waiting to hear what Joey got to say. They waiting to hear the information that Joey is going to drop. And we are grateful and appreciative for you guys to be here. I can hear Joey very well and I can see him very well. But we're trying to figure out the kinks. Please be patient with us. As y'all see, we're at a new location and I'm loving it. Can you hear? Okay. That's how we doing it. So peace, God. How's everything? How's your day going so far? How has it gone so far? You repping. That's how you gotta do it, man. You gotta talk to the family. You know what I'm saying? You gotta rep, you know? You gotta speak to the family so they know what's going on, you know? That's how you Oh, you can't see me on Zoom? Yeah.
Alright, hold up. Let's do this like this. Up to the chat.
Yeah, you can give a shout out to the chat if you would like. Everybody in the house to speak to you. So Joey, you know, basically I just want to start off because we already hitting the we're already close to 9 o'clock. So I just want to start off with the big bang. And we want to talk more, so we want to speak more about the commerce. So you know, you winning, you did, I'm telling you, you did good. We got a lot of feedback. We got a lot of views from the last show. And the thing is, like, where do we begin as far as setting up a business? What mindset should we have when we set up our business? Because we dug a little bit into you know, the nationality, right, and understanding who you are, right, who you are before we can even move forward. So regarding the business part, how do we even set that up? Where do we start? Where do we begin?
Okay, all right. I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So first and foremost, right, and we talked about this last week when we dealt with nationality, right?
Yes.
So business is a mindset, right, and it's a structure. So when we start talking about what type of business should you set up, how should you set up business, you know, it's really based on what kind of business you're doing, number one.
Okay.
Number two, it should be based on the jurisdiction that you're gonna operate that business in.
Oh, okay.
Number three, it should be based on whether or not you plan to be taxed or not taxed, right? So there's a lot of different structures. You got LLCs, you got unincorporated, you got C corps, you got S corps, you got corporations, right?
Right.
There's a lot of different types of businesses. So when we start talking about business, you got to know, okay, I'm going to enter into business for this specific purpose. So I would never tell anybody you need to set up this type of business.
Okay.
Unless it's something that they want to set up. So, but I would recommend something, right? So, So I would always recommend that when you set up businesses, right, especially in the realm that we operate in, you want to set up unincorporated structures. This allows you to be able to set things up in a manner that will give you a certain level of security.
Right.
So since you asked that, we're going to go into some shit today. And we'll just, you know me, I like to go into definitions and stuff like that, right?
I love it.
So let's go into that if that's cool with you.
That's more than
and
cool.
We'll talk about unincorporated, unincorporated businesses, okay?
Okay.
And we'll start off with that. Now, on a corporate, and I'm going to give y'all, I'm going to actually, because I don't like people, saying that we made stuff up. So I like to always give you the definition of stuff when we're looking at things. So we're going to give you the definition. We're going to look at it raw, and we're going to look at what the actual meaning of these things are. So an unincorporated entity is an entity that has not been granted formal corporate status by way of incorporation. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what is an incorporation, right? Mm-hmm. Incorporation means that you created some type of creature of the state, and then you gave it to the state, and then the state took it and they put it into their trust, right? Mm-hmm. So an unincorporated entity would generally be a separate entity for accounting purposes, but may or may not be separate as a legal entity. So, for example, in partnerships in England and Scotland, right, they are considered to be separate entities.
Right.
And now this is done usually for accounting purposes. So a lot of times we're teaching people to set up express trust. When you set up your express trust, you're going to take your actual entity and put it into the trust. Okay? So let's keep going. Then it says that the most common and traditional unincorporated entities are sole traders, partnerships, and trustees of trust. What I just say about trust, right?
Right.
And it says, and the more modern unincorporated entities include limited partnerships, which are LPs, but not incorporated limited partnerships, limited liability partnerships, but not UK limited liability partnerships, which are corporations, okay, and limited liability partnerships, which are known as LLPs, right, and limited liability companies, which are your LLCs, and this is where you'll see in your state has you set up an LLC, right, so the LLC can be taxed. Now, the question is why can an LLC be taxed? Well, an LLC can be taxed because the state put it into their trust. So let me give you an example, right? If I was to have a trust set up, and I tell everybody that's on the line right now, come put your land in my trust for me to protect it, right?
Okay.
Everybody comes to my land. Everybody comes over to my land. Everybody comes over to my trust. They put their land in my trust. I give them a form of protection. So, as a result of my protection that I'm giving them, that I'm extending to them, I'm going to tax them to hold that shit for them, right? To give them a certain veil. This is why you get taxed, because when you put your business under the state turns around and they says, okay, well, since you gave it to us to hold for you, we're gonna tax that ass. Right. And the state is well within their right to do that.
Absolutely.
If you go to them to set up that particular type of entity. Now, I'm gonna give you some other things to think about here, right? When we talk about unincorporated structures, because unincorporation, right? Let's just look at the term here. An unincorporation is an unorthodox form of a large business organization. So the term applies to embrace any unincorporated business, and unincorporation may be formed in an effort to align managers and owners' interests and more closely than in typical corporations. So unincorporated associations or unincorporation may donate most of its profits to charity. Now, people don't really understand what I'm saying here when it talks about donate, because somebody will say, well, why would I start a business to donate anything?
Right.
Well, if you have your business owned by a trust, specifically an express trust, an irrevocable trust, right?
Right.
Then the unincorporated business association has an agreement. We call this an operating agreement, right? So the rise of unincorporations resulted partly from costly corporate monitoring devices such as independent directors, owner voting, and fiduciary duties being often ineffective, right? So publicly traded partnerships, real estate investment firms, hedge funds, all of these type of things normally will use unincorporated structures, right? Actually, when you see stuff like hedge funds, they typically are done as unincorporated businesses.
That's crazy.
Believe it or not. So a business trust, and we talk about Massachusetts Business Trust.
Yes.
We talk about Express Trust, right? But business trust is another type of unincorporated association that you can set up. Okay, so it's very important to understand that when you're dealing with corporations and unincorporations, that you understand the difference between what it is that I'm legally responsible for when I set up a business,
right,
and what it is that I'm not going to be responsible for, and my trust will be responsible for, right? So that's where the difference comes in play at.
Wow, that's good information. So in the beginning, you had said, it just you can't tell somebody what business that they should set up, right? So
Correct.
just for the viewers, you know what I'm saying? Because I know sometimes there's just so much information, and you're reading some of these definitions, and you guys have to do your due diligence to replay this, right? And just play it in, over again so you can get an overstanding. But could you give? Let's say I wanted to do the unincorporated way, right? So the unincorporated way, will I have to pay taxes with that? If I give it to my trust, because now I'm donating it to the trust, right? You said we can donate.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that people have to remember and understand, right? When you're doing business, any form of business that you do, you can still be liable for tax.
Okay.
Right? Because oftentimes you could be doing business in the public. Now, you can limit your tax liability, right, by doing certain things. See, tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is not illegal, and it's not unlawful, right, to avoid taxes.
Say what?
Because there are loopholes they give you to avoid taxes.
Okay, now.
Right? So what you want to do is always practice, tax avoidance, but not tax evasion.
Okay.
Right? And this is the reason why setting up certain type of structures is more beneficial than certain other type of structures. That's the reason why with President Trump, when they asked him, can we get your tax returns, and the nigga never gives up his tax returns, it's because everything is done in trust. So some shit ain't going to be available to you in the public.
Ooh,
you did what I'm saying?
That's juices right there. That's juices. Well, I want to make sure that the viewers understand. So let's say I want to open up a juice bar. Let's say I want to open up a juice bar. Can I open up a juice bar using an unincorporated entity?
Yeah, so you can. And one of the things about the food industry per se is that a lot of times when you do food, you have to think of the health department, because the health department likes to come in and they want to make sure that you're doing shit according to how they operate, right? So I want you to think of a church, right? You go to church on Sunday, right? Or a lot of us, when we grew up, we would go to church with your grandma or something like that on Sunday. And after church, the church was cooking food down in the basement.
Yes.
Now you have to ask yourself, how many times has the health department came in, right, and checked the church about cooking food? Most times they don't ever come in and check the church about cooking food.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because in a way they're operating exempt because they're serving food
in the church
through charitable purposes. You understand? So there are ways around that, right?
That was a good
But when
example.
you're doing things specifically for a profit, you have to really sit back and ask yourself, if I'm doing this for a profit and I know for a fact that I'm making a profit versus I'm doing it for a charitable purpose,
right?
You really have to ask yourself, is this a taxable event?
Right.
9 times out of 10, if you're doing it to make profit, yeah, it's a taxable event.
Right. And we should we add, because I had this discussion with someone before. So yes, you want to do tax avoidance, and it's legal. It's according to the IRS, you gotta.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Yeah. So let's take a look at these definitions here.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop my phone here. Okay. We'll give you a couple of definitions. So, tax avoidance is the legal usage. Keep in mind, it's the legal usage of the tax regime in a single territory to one's own advantage, to reduce the amount of tax that is payable by the means that are within the law. A tax shelter is one type of avoidance. for taxes. They call these tax havens, right?
Right.
Okay. So in certain jurisdictions, you have what they call tax havens. Now, forms of tax avoidance that use tax law in ways that are not intended by governments may be considered illegal, but are almost never considered moral in the court of public opinion. Okay.
Oh.
So I want to make this clear. Right now, many corporations and businesses that take part in practice experience a backlash from their active customers online. Conversely, benefiting from the tax laws in ways that were intended by a government and sometimes referring to as tax planning. So then, let's jump over real quick, right, and look at the definition of tax evasion.
Yes. That's
Okay.
not one. We don't want that.
Because now we know what tax avoidance is, right?
Right.
Tax avoidance is creating a structure. It's creating some type of tax haven for yourself. So a trust can be a tax haven, right? And we'll look at that here in a second. So tax evasion is the illegal evasion of taxes by individuals, corporations, and trusts, right? So some people actually do create trusts to illegally avoid taxes, which that's not okay to do.
Right.
So tax evasion often entails taxpayers deliberately misrepresenting the true state of their affairs to the tax authorities to reduce their tax liability. Now, I want to ask you something here, right? And I want you to answer this, and this is a rhetorical question. Are you a resident or are you a non-resident?
Me, as far as where I'm at right now, I would consider
Correct.
myself.
What would you consider yourself?
I would consider myself a resident.
Okay, that would mean that you are liable for taxes. See, tax evasion is actively, and I'll read it here. It says tax evasion is actively commonly associated with the informal economy. Now, one measure of tax evasion is the amount of unreported income by residents. Now, let's pull up the definition here of a resident versus a non-resident, okay?
Yeah, because that's going to bring me to my question. I was going to ask you about nationality and taxes, but go ahead.
Okay, here we go. We're going to pull it up, right? Now, I'm going to go right to the IRS, right? And we're going to read what the IRS has to say about this under topic 851, resident and non-resident aliens. Non-resident aliens. You're considered a non-resident alien for any period that you're neither a U.S. citizen nor a resident alien for tax purposes. Resident aliens. You're considered a resident alien for a calendar year if you meet the green card test or the substantial presence test for the year. That means that if you reside somewhere in the corporate jurisdiction as a U.S. citizen, they consider you to be a resident. Okay? So then they have something known as the substantial presence test, right? So I'm going to go through this, and hopefully this will help some people understand, right?
Yes.
So days of presence in the United States, right? And this is what the IRS has to say about it. It says that days you commute to work in the United States from a resident in Canada or Mexico if you regularly commute to Canada or Mexico. Days you're in the United States for less than 24 hours when you're in transit between two places outside the United States. Days you're in the United States as a crew member of a foreign vessel, right? Days that you engage in trade or business in the United States. Days you intend to leave but couldn't leave the United States because of a medical condition, right? Days you're an exempt individual, right? That's what they call presence in the United States. Now, here's what we call exempt individuals. You're an exempt individual, which means your days of presence in the United States are not counted for purposes of substantial presence tests if you fall into the following categories. An individual temporarily present in the United States as a foreign government-related individual under A or G visas. A teacher or a trainee temporarily present in the United States under a J or Q visa, right? You were exempt as a teacher, a trainee, or a student for any part of 3 or fewer of 6 preceding calendar years. A foreign employer paid all of your compensation during the current year. You were present in the United States as a teacher or a trainee or any time prior in the last 6 years.
Wow.
A foreign employer paid all of your compensation. You established that you intend to reside permanently in the United States. So how could you establish that you intend to reside permanently? Well, number one, if you've never done an affidavit of non-residency, that would be a way to establish that your ass wants to be a resident. Okay? You have substantially complied with the requirements of your visa. Now, let's just go back one. Okay? And I want to pull up a couple of things here because I want to make this really clear, right, on why when you set up a certain type of business, you can be liable or not liable for either personal taxes or business taxes, right? So let's look it up here.
Wow. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if we look up resident, right, in the term resident, a resident, okay, just a second here. I'm going to give you a good definition. Okay. Now, residency is the act of establishing.
Your volume. Did you mute out? Yeah, I can't hear you anymore.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep, you're good to go. You're good to go.
Okay, sorry, I had a call coming in. All right, so residency is the act of establishing or maintaining residence in a given place, right? Permanent residency is indefinite residence within a country. Now, let's look up what non-residency is.
Okay.
So we understand what non-residency is. Right, well, and then a lot of people say, but I'm a U.S. citizen, and I'm a resident. I reside in my state.
That's crazy.
Okay, well, the question is do you reside or do you domicile? Okay.
I was going to use the word domicile when you asked me the question if I'm a resident or non-resident, but go ahead. I just said I'm going to stick to it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We're going to get to it, right?
Yeah.
So a non-resident, right, is somebody who does not domicile, right? A non-resident is somebody who is not residing within the United States, right? So that would mean that you have to look at what the word domicile means to understand what non-residency means. So in law, domicile is the status or an attribution of being a lawful non-resident, right, in a particular jurisdiction. Now, a person can remain domiciled in a jurisdiction even after they have left it. Okay, and if they have maintained sufficient links with that jurisdiction or have not displayed an intention to leave permanently, they can be considered a resident. Okay, now if that person is moved to a different state, and when we say state, remember last week we talked about state, right? So state can mean your jurisdiction, your political venue, your political subdivision, your body politic, your corporate body, anything that you consider to be a jurisdiction, right? So it says traditionally, if that person has moved to a different state but has not yet formed an intention to remain there indefinitely,
right,
they can be considered somebody that domiciles. Traditionally, many common law jurisdictions consider a person's domicile to be a determinative factor in the conflict of laws. Okay? And would, for example, only recognize a divorce conducted in another jurisdiction if at least one of the parties were domiciled there at the time it was conducted. Now, residency is the act of establishing or maintaining a residence in a given place. Residency is a concept which heavily affects the legal rights and responsibilities that are available to a person, including eligibility to vote. So this is where your 14th Amendment comes in at, right? This is how people get locked into the federal system, right? Through voting. Eligibility to stand for a political office, right? So there's that. Eligibility to access government services, right? So we're talking about Social Security benefits. We talk about Medicaid. We talking about,
Social Medicaid,
WIC, food stamps, HUD, all of that shit, right? Responsibility to pay taxes and so on. So a resident is responsible for taxes. So if your business is considered a resident business, it's also responsible for taxes,
gonna pay them taxes,
as well as whoever owns it.
So this is how these Arabs, no disrespect to any nationality or race, but like these Chinese and these Arabs, they coming in here And I heard, they don't really pay no taxes. They said that. They open up these bodegas and all these stores and stuff like that, and they're not paying taxes, and now we understand how and why. Along with some other things, they practice group economics and how they get the money, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, so and you're right, because you go anywhere in the hood, you're gonna see the Arabs, you're gonna see the Somalians, the Africans. They all come into our neighborhoods and they open up shit, and the government gives them money to do business.
Right.
And we sitting back like, well, how come we don't got that money? How come we don't own the gas station? Right? Because your ass wants to be a U.S. citizen.
Without
right? You don't want to come in and get the money that's available to you, right, through your actual nationality.
They don't be having socials and none of that. They don't be having that, and they be getting it. They have some form of a number that they use, but it's not a social security number. But go ahead.
Correct. Exactly. Exactly. So I just want to bring this up right quick, right? Because I've talked about what they call conflict laws. So, conflict of laws are also known as private international law, right? So when we talk about international law is only subject to people who are covered under international treaties, international conventions. So which means that your ass ain't covered under international law as a U.S. citizen. Okay? So, and I'll read this to you, right? It says that conflict of laws is the set of rules or laws of a jurisdiction that applies to a case, a transaction, a person, or other occurrences that have connections to more than one jurisdiction. So this is why I was talking last week about doing things under a tribe, right? Because when you come in and you do things under a tribe, you technically are doing things under another jurisdiction, right? When you do things under a trust, under an unincorporated business association, these are things that come in what they call conflict of laws. So they start butting heads. The laws are butting heads against each other, right? Now, the body of law that deals with the broad topics of jurisdiction, rules regarding when it is appropriate for a court to hear such a case, foreign judgments, dealing with the rules by which a court in one jurisdiction mandates compliance with the ruling of another jurisdiction. Right? So we call this choice of law. Right? So this addresses the question of what we call substantive law, right? And this will be applied in any case. So when we talk about public versus private, right? And I'll show you, right? For people who don't understand it. Right? This dollar bill represents public and private all day long, right? People will say, well, how? Well, if we just fold it in half and we look at it like this, here's your private side. Here's your public side. Okay. So there is no conflict of law when you're using a dollar, because they've agreed to mix public and private here, because it clearly tells you here. It says this notice legal tender for all debts, public and private. I mean, it says it right there, right? So when you're using a dollar bill and you're dealing with the public, right, then they consider you to be using the public side of the dollar. When you're doing things privately, you're using the private side of the dollar. So there's two different functions to even the dollar bill, right? There could be a conflict of laws if you're trying to operate in one jurisdiction, but you are a resident and subject to another jurisdiction.
You broke that down, brother. Now we got it. Right. So you can't be over here arguing with these people when you operating over there. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
It just can't happen.
Correct.
But can you explain, speaking of that, there are companies and corporations that do set up their entities in one state as far as the paperwork end of things, right? Setting up their trusts, setting up their LLCs or whatever, however you're going to set that up, but their physical operation is in another state. Would that be a conflict right there in doing that?
No, No, not necessarily, because there's what is known as foreign LLCs, foreign incorporations, right? So you're well within your lawful and legal rights to be able to set up a corporation in one state and then go to another state and use it in another state, right? It's completely lawful to do that.
Okay.
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 That's not a conflict of laws. If I want to set up a corporation in New York and then turn around and set up another corporation in St. Louis or Wyoming or anywhere else, I can do that lawfully,
right,
as long as you follow the rules in both jurisdictions.
Right. It's very much
There's
possible.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. People do that shit all the time. I'll give you an example. Look at Walmart.
Yes.
There's a Walmart in damn near every state. How could Walmart set up in every single state, right?
Right.
If it was a conflict of law, they set up in every state because it's lawful for them to do that.
Right. Okay. They definitely are set up in every state. I don't know which state that they have their they basically set up their corporation, but I do know that they operate physically in other states. So that's good to know. That's
Correct.
Good information to know.
Correct. Now, one of the things that is important to know is when we first started teaching Express Trust earlier this year, Walmart was actually one of the first people to come out to say that they were moving all of their money to family trust.
That's
right. So they moved all their money over to a trust earlier this year. So they went from being in the public and moved to the private because they realized, oh shit, we mixing public and private, and if some shit go down in this country, we want to have all our money protected in the private trust over here and not over here in the public.
What I've learned from you guys, this trust is very important because when you want to study and learn the wealthy, I've never seen thus so far anyone that's wealthy that don't have a trust. Okay, the Rockefellers, I heard you have to pay like so many thousands just to look at their trust for like a minute or a second. You know, there are so many rich people that have these trusts, and you know there's a reason why. Also, besides obviously, so would you consider a trust like asset protection? Is that considered asset protection for those who wanted to know? Because someone asked me that question earlier today.
All right. So let's get into this trust thing, right? Because this is, and I brought some books with me tonight, so we can dive into this, right? And let's just talk about it, right? So first of all, an express trust. There are many types of trust, right? You got revocable, irrevocable. You got spendthrift. You got express trust.
Yes.
You know, you got dog trust. I mean, there's all types of trust, right? So a lot of times people like to think of an express trust as the highest form of trust, okay? Now, in express trust, and I'm going to read it to you, express trust is created in express terms and usually in writing and is distinguished from one inferred by the law from the conduct or dealings of the parties. So property is transferred by one person, which is called a trustor.
Right.
Okay. Which is also known as a settlor. Okay. Which we also call a grantor. Okay. So those three people, right, are the people who create the trust. Now, this is transferred to the trustees, right, who hold the property for the benefit of the beneficiaries. So when we talk about asset protection, yeah, trust is the highest form of asset protection. It's not a will. Now, people need to know that when you put your shit in a will, you are subject to probate regardless of whether you wrote a will out or not. So putting your things in a trust will automatically make it to where when you pass away or something happens to you, you become incapacitated, right? They don't go and probate your shit automatically because they will probate you. Now, the trustee may distribute the property or the income from that property to the beneficiary, okay, or the beneficiaries.
Right, more than
okay,
one.
and then express trusts are frequently used in common law jurisdictions as methods of wealth preservation and enhancement. Okay? Now, I'm going to read from my book here.
This is some
I'm going to pull something for you.
Juicy info.
Okay? So, for our understanding. Okay?
Yes.
Now, here's what it says. It says that in most cases, right, businessmen do not need a corporate charter except for railroads for the right of eminent domain, for banks, for insurance companies, insurance, and for certain public service functions. In most cases, the state gives no adequate equivalent for a charter, which means that a charter is something like having a corporation. Right?
Okay.
Now, it is often a useless encumbrance, and it often stimulates mercantile iniquity. Right? It says that our corporation laws throughout this country have become a legalized means of evasion because of the impersonality, the artificial entity which they sanction, and they have elicited causation, criticism, and executive economists. Now, let me move over a little bit because I want y'all to, and I talked about this on the radio recently, but I want to make sure that this is clear when we discuss it.
And if y'all want to hear it again,
Right.
and he breaks it down, you got to go on the blog talk because he definitely breaks it down. But we're listening.
All right. So here we go. Express trust, whether created under wills, deeds, settlement, assignments for the benefit of creditors, receiverships, or by special declarations of trust to manage property or carry on business, are neither corporations nor joint stock companies nor partnerships, but they employ a distinct and highest form known as method of administration. So although every trust may be said to include a contract, it includes so much more, and the purposes for which the machinery of trust is employed are so different of a kind that trusts are distinct in a marked way, not merely for every other species of contract, but from all other contracts as genius. So debts incurred under express trust are not the debts of the beneficiaries under the trust, but are the personal debts of the trustees, who are not agents, but are absolute owners and principals. The trustees have to account, of course, to the beneficiaries, but the beneficiaries have no partnership powers. And a strict express trust cannot be held to its beneficiaries to be a partnership with partnership powers and liabilities, without creating confusion and a mischievous subversion in established principles. So you see, express trust is one of the highest forms of asset protection.
It is.
Okay. Now, hold on, because I want to make sure that I give you all of this information here. Okay. Now, all right. Hopefully, what I'm saying is making some sense. You know,
yes, making some sense, and we're gonna delve in it because,
but, you know, what we don't want to do is go over nobody's heads, right?
No.
Okay. Now check it. Express Trust have been in successful operation in Great Britain and America for generations. They have been and are applied wisely in both hemispheres to property value at hundreds of millions of dollars. To affirm at this date that considerations of public policy do not countenance express trust that utilize conventional business accessories is to challenge sound economics. Public policy is not always immutable. Neither lawyers nor laymen can ignore experience or the truth. Okay? It was Coleridge who wrote that a man who squares his conscience by the law was a common paraphrase, a synonym of a wretch without a conscience at all. So if public policy in this instance is to be measured, as it should be, by a standard of stability rather than instability, the startling contrast presented later between express trust and Massachusetts corporations ought to modify some notions of public policy. Now, some of that is jargon, but let me get to the point here. It says, well-drawn modern express trusts avoid no legal obligation, much less do they evade any. If perverted, they should be, of course, restrained. They should avoid needless business obstacles, right? Now, it says that trustees under express trust pay taxes on their real and personal property, okay? Trustees have to report fully to their beneficiaries or be called to account in court by them. So publicity, as with partnerships, is secured to all those who are entitled to it. Public curiosity, mere prying, or pertinent curiosity is not gratified or ought not to be. So trustees are protected as they should be from personal loss by a provision for exoneration or reimbursement from the estate, except in the case of a willful default or a fraud. So then it goes on to say that express trust under the common law, regulated by equitable principles and practice, furnish some of the highest models for administration and asset protection. Okay? Corporations under state laws invite and are responsible for the greatest business scandals in our history. So one who prefers to drink from a pure spring on the common cannot justly charge with evading or nearby licensed corporations. Okay, so the question is what is this shit telling us? It's telling us that, number one, corporations, right, are one of the lowest forms of businesses that you can set up, right, to protect an asset. You should never set up a corporation to protect any type of asset.
Right.
Number two is telling us that if you set up a trust, specifically an express trust, right, it is one of the highest forms of asset protection. Now, somebody's going to say to me, well, what about the Massachusetts Business Trust? So let's pull it up.
Right, and I want to get into, because you have mentioned the will is not a will, and so and you know, some people may say, okay, you know, what is the difference? But obviously there is a difference, because you have different roles within the trust. So there's not going to be no conflict of interest. You got the beneficiary, you got the you got your trustee, and you have your grantor. And the most important thing that you stated was the probate. Now some people are like, well, what the hell is probate? Because see, a lot of our people, you know, you hear these words and it may seem like, you know, somebody speaking Spanish, but like when you break it down in layman's terms, you can really understand it. Because the most we've ever been taught, we've learned in the hood, life insurance and a will. And even those two things, we didn't really have an overstanding or understanding with it. But I don't want to break your thought. And shout out to the chat. We definitely going to get to your questions. I just don't want to cut his wisdom off. All right, God, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I see J. Bay asks, is a will a conflict of law? A will is not a conflict of law, right? First of all, because and I'm glad that you asked about the will thing, right? Because when we look at a will, you look at probate, right? Probate was created to deal with the estates of a decedent and people who are incapacitated. So your straw man technically has been incapacitated because it's considered as a minor, right? So as always, let's go back to our definitions here, and we'll look up some definitions here that will help lead us on the proper path, the path to righteousness, right?
Path to righteousness.
So let's go.
Get into the bag.
Let me make sure my camera's up there. All right, so here we go. Probate. Now, probate is the judicial process whereby a will is proved in a court of law and accepted as a valid public document that is the last true testament of the deceased, or whereby the estate is settled according to the laws of intestacy, right? Or intestate, as we call it, right? So intestacy, right, is the condition of the estate of a person that dies without having a force of a valid will. So if you know anything about Michael Jackson,
yes,
Michael Jackson actually created the trust. He put all his shit, he created the trust, right, with the intention to put all his shit in the trust, but the nigga never transferred nothing into the trust.
Lord.
So when he died, they still went to probate on his shit because he never transferred anything into the estate, right? All his shit, he died in intestacy.
They had to
right?
go to court.
So to avoid probate, number one, you don't want to have somebody go to court to prove that the will was what you meant. That's why you put everything in trust, because it's the intention, right, of the settler and the transfer of ownership of him as well. So the granting of probate is the first step in the legal process of administering the estate. Okay, so then it goes on to say that resolving all claims and distributing the deceased person's property under a will. A probate court decides the legal validity of the testor's or deceased person, right, of their will, and then it grants approval, also known as granting probate, to the executor. So the probated will would then become a legal instrument that may be enforced by the executor in the law courts if necessary. A probate also officially appoints the executor of a person's representative, generally named in the will as having legal power, right, which is power of attorney, right, to dispose of the testator's assets in the name of a specified testator's will. Now, the question is that we've all had somebody in our family that's died, right, and the family, everybody's fighting over who gets what, right? So to avoid that shit, to avoid you fighting over who gonna get Pookie's VCR set, right? Who gonna get the jewelry, right? Avoid all that. And put everything in an express trust.
Right.
Put everything in trust straight up, right? Express trust. And express trust means that you expressed it, right? You didn't leave nothing to be of doubt.
Right.
So this way, a probate court don't have to step in, right, and administer the trust because it's already been administered straight up and down.
Right. So there's going to be no fighting. Ray, Pookie, and them ain't got to fight over nothing because everything is handled. This is what it's going to be. Y'all going to be the beneficiaries, and that's what Grandpa said is going to be, and that's what it's going to be. So no judge is going to be involved, and they ain't got to, handle Grandpa's affairs when he already handled his affairs. So that's the difference between a will and a trust.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So, and people got to know that a will. Anytime you write up a will, matter of fact, let's look it up here in the dictionary, right?
Right.
Right. So I want y'all to see this. Right? We're gonna go through this. Now, it says a will, right, is a desire, an inclination, a choice, the factuality of conscience, especially of deliberate action, right? When a person expresses his will that a particular disposition may be made of his property, his words or words commanded, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the law of wills, the legal expression or declaration of a person's mind or wishes as to the disposition of his property to be performed or take effect after his death. Now, why do people set up trust? Do you know why people set up trust?
Are you asking me? I mean, I would say for the asset protection, but
asset protection at what point though?
At what point? This is before you ascend. Is that what you're asking, or something else?
Right, exactly. So the purpose of setting up a trust is so that all of your shit can be administered before you die.
Okay. All right. Right.
Right. So you can set up your property, and this way everything is done prior to your death. Right.
Right.
People set up wills for shit that happens after they die.
Crazy.
Like, I want my trust to operate right now.
Like,
so let me pull it up here, right?
Like, you don't want your ex-wife and them coming and trying to get the money after the fact. You know what I'm saying? When you want your babies to get it, like,
Exactly. So we in Black's law, right? And let's pull it up. A trust is a right of property, real or personal, held by one party for the benefit of another. Okay? A confidence reposed in one person who is termed trustee for the benefit of another, who is called the cessicate trust. Now, what have we heard that word at before? What's a cessicate trust? Well, your straw man sits in a cessicate v trust. Okay? Respecting property which is held by a trustee for the benefit of a cessicate trust, the state ex rel. Okay? Now, any arrangement whereby property is transferred with the intention that it be administered by the trustee for another's benefit. A fiduciary relationship with respect to property, subjecting the person by whom the property is held to equitable duties to deal with the property for the benefit of another person, which arises as the result of a manifestation of an intention to create it. You see what I'm saying? There's an intention.
There is an intent.
Okay? Now, an obligation on a person arising out of confidence reposed to him to apply property faithfully in accordance to such confidence as being in nature or disposition by which a proprietor transfers to another property of subject entrusted, not that it should remain with him, but that it should be applied to certain uses for the behoof of a third party. Okay? So then you got active trust, okay, cessicate trust, charitable trust, okay, constructive trust, contingent trust, directory trust, dry trust, educational trust, executed trust, executory trust, express private trust.
Private, yes.
Now, let's go to that.
Yes.
Right?
I didn't even know they had
Express private trust has been defined as existing where land or property is conveyed or to be held by one person in trust for another without any power being expressly or impliedly given trustee to take actual possession of land or property or exercise active ownership over it. You see? Now, it also says here that an express trust is created or declared in express terms and usually in writing, as distinguished from one inferred by the law from the conduct or dealings of the parties, right? So when we're talking about a will, right, a will is not an express trust, right? Because a will deals with something after you die. Express trust means I'm putting all my shit in trust right now to protect it right now, and I'm giving it to another entity to let it manage.
Right. So you're not even managing it. So there's no conflict right there. Right.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that it's named the trust, because you got to trust someone, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they got rules that they're going to have to follow by, but you're going to have to trust someone to operate, operate this thing, to operate this entity. That's crazy.
It's a beneficial owner. See, the trust is the beneficial owner of the estate, of the estate's property, of the decedent, right? Everything that's owned.
Right.
So you got J Bay and Chatty's right. It is a legal arrangement. Or really, you should call it a lawful arrangement.
So now, when you set up a trust, right? How long can it last? How long can it be set up for? I'm pretty sure people have that question. Like, okay,
trust. A lot of trust. The terms of trust normally start around 25 years, right?
Ooh.
That would be a term of trust, okay? But it can go on further than that if you write it into the trust document.
Okay, and once the
right?
25
it's expressed.
years,
it can be perpetual.
It's perpetual. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
It's perpetual. That is. Woo, that's
Correct.
some fire for you right there. Before we even go any further with any other questions, I guess the moderator, I don't know if you can hear him from afar, but we want to address some people in the chat room, see if they have any questions. Let's see what's going on. I know you answered a lot of Jay-based questions. But that's some fire, man, and I appreciate you breaking it down for us in layman's terms and taking your time to read these definitions. And most importantly, you guys, man, this is just like the tip, you know what I'm saying, of something great. So you guys got to really follow this brother on Blog Talk, and you got to get with him. And I just want to ask you, before the moderator even start, do you help people set up trust? Do you help people set up business entities?
Yeah, I got an upcoming webinar we're going to be doing next Saturday. People can sign up for it at makemorecommerce.com. We're going to be going over, and that's MakeMoreCommerce.com. We're going to be going over how to set up unincorporated business structures.
Yes.
And then in January, we're going to be going over real estate, how to purchase your real estate and how to put it in trust, right, under the trust, and how to purchase real estate with a trust. And then a couple weeks later after that, we're going to be going over child support. And you can sign up for all those webinars on my website, MakeMoreCommerce.com. But the next one that's coming up is unincorporated business structures. We're going to show you how to set up the business, how to go in and set the structure up, what you need for paperwork, how to go and get the business account, all of that.
What? All right, it's about to go down in 2021. Y'all hear that? And then he had the nerve to kind of glance over that real fast child support. Now, y'all know y'all better be on that webinar real quick and fast. And I'm not saying to be dodging. I'm not trying to say to do tax avoidance with child support.
It's a lot of Moors, man, that's dealing with child support issues. Believe me.
Did y'all hear that? Y'all better make sure y'all go get them webinars and start playing, because I'm going to be in there, y'all. I'm going to be in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be in there. Y'all going to see Kia in there. So, anyway, we're going to address the chat real quick before we move on. We're not going to stay too long because we are started very late, and we apologize. We're at a different location right now. But the great thing is that the sound is excellent. And so we were able to hear the message for tonight. You know, so what's going on? Shout out to the chat.
What up, chat? What up?
Shout out to the chat. You know, shout out to Eugenio. Shout out to
what up, Eugenio?
PJ. Shout out to Wiz, Yusuf, Boss Elite, Fame.
All right.
Fame in 402, 6B ITB in the building. Yes, I got you now. And I got that right this time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Susu. Shout out to Susu.
Okay. A lot of new
shout
people.
Shout out to Hollywood. Shout out to Shannon.
What up, Hollywood? What up?
Hey,
shout
Hollywood.
out to Terrence.
Okay.
Shout out to Crazy World.
Okay.
You know, I gotta figure out why I can't get his wrench set up, but between him and Solar, I gotta get their wrenches set up so they can become moderators. Shout out to Jay Bay. Shout out to Zahin.
Okay.
Shout out to Justin.
Okay.
Shout out to the co-host, Waji.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? You was like down, you was a little further down on the list.
What the hell you doing down on the list?
You know what I'm saying? So, who else we got in here?
A lot of new people in there, man.
Yeah,
make sure you guys.
A lot of family. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, because we're gonna, be doing things like this and going into different great conversations, and we definitely would like to hear y'all take on this stuff, on everything. So, make sure you become a repeat offender.
Please, repeat offender.
Shout out to Al Shalom El Bay. Shout out to Ralph Allen.
Okay.
Who else we got?
Make sure you guys share this link.
Solar in the building as usual.
Peace.
And we got it going on like that. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Young Haas.
Peace,
you know
Haas. Yeah, man. I want to know if any.
Yeah, I ain't even want to address that. We're going to leave that alone.
Okay, Young Haas, all right.
Yeah, Haas always got something interesting.
Somebody said no shade, peace. No shade about what? Okay. So, do you guys have any questions for the brother? That was some powerful stuff that he broke down. Like, that's really powerful. And moving forward, I already started applying a lot of stuff that they're doing, but setting up your entity is very, very important. Now, this brother talking about, if y'all don't have any questions, and I'ma just go on. When y'all ready to have y'all questions, let me know. But we don't want to question him until he don't have no voice for the webinar, then I'ma be real mad. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all have y'all money right. Make sure that money is in there, and whatever the case might be. Now, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question. Shout out to Yakanan El Bay.
Yakanan, okay.
What I'm saying? I think I know who that is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I see some questions coming in.
Yeah.
Zayn wants to know about the credit repair bundle. Yeah, it's gonna make more commerce.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you type it in? Although it's going to be in the description box, but we can always type it in every so often so the people can get it, because some people are coming in. Well, a lot of people.
Somebody wants to know, can you put an LLC in an express trust?
Ooh,
you absolutely can.
Good question.
Yeah, you can. But it's how you operate and do the taxes, though. Right. So a LLC is what's known as a partnership, actually. So it's the partnership agreement. So when you set up an LLC, you need to have the partnership agreement together. And if you have an existing LLC and you haven't put an express trust as one of the partners, then you want to redo what's known as your articles of organization, and then you want to create an operating agreement.
And you're going to be talking about this, and you're going to be showing us how to do this in the webinar, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, my question.
Get your cups out. You know what I'm saying? Get your pens and paper out because the webinar's about to go down. All right. We're gonna be wealthy in here, so y'all better be there. But go ahead.
My question is, what is your stance on a 508 organization? Is that sort
the
of
same?
The same, you know.
Ooh, good question.
Just a second. You tell me a little curveball there. Let me pull it up right quick.
Ooh, okay. I like this. Once again, while he's pulling it up, make more commerce. All right. Webinars coming up.
Okay. So the 508 is a 508c1. It's a faith-based. It's a religious nonprofit tax-exempt organization. It's separate and distinct from a 501c3, right? And unincorporated FBOs. The 508c1a is applicable in all 50 states and recognized internationally under the Hague Convention. So since its inception in 1954, that's actually right around the time they started using them. So they're a little bit different than churches, right? So to me, they seem like they would fall under the same rules right now. Here, I'm going to pull it here. Okay, it says a 508A provides generally that an organization organized after October 1969 would not be treated as described in IRC 501c3 unless it gives notice to the servers that it is in appropriate manner, provided in part that this notification requirement is satisfied when the organization seeking exemption under IRC 501 files properly completed and executed within Form 1023. So it looks to me that this type of organization, it's a nonprofit organization, right? I actually have to be honest, I haven't used these before. I haven't used the 508 before.
Okay.
Yes, I have. 508c13. Yes, I have. It's been a minute. I'm sorry. Yes, I have. It operates like a 501D and a 501A. 501s, but a 501c3 is completely different though, because it goes up under the organization of when you create an organization, the government can control it.
Right.
So it's okay to create it, but it is a civic organization now. So it's like a ministry, if you will. So it's the opposite of if you want to create a church, but you don't want the church to be controlled by the government.
Right.
Create a 508.
And that's what. And okay.
You actually just refreshed my memory over there. I forgot all about the 508c13s.
And I take it that all of these.
It's been a minute.
Right, but see, you moving. You such a boss. You're moving. You keep elevating. So you kind of like you're not going. You know, that's old news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, we talked about that a couple years ago. The 508c13, because it is an exempt organization, right? And it falls just like the 501d. 501A, right? There are different types of exempt organizations. Some of them actually require you to write the IRS to get what they call a consideration letter, right? But the 508c13, the 501D, and the 501A, they fall up under different type of structures. So a 508c13 it actually falls up under the constitutional structure.
Right. All of this stuff is so juicy to me because we have so many options out there. You know what I'm saying? And my next question is, do we have to stick to just one entity? How many can we have? You know what I'm saying? How many entities? Could I have a trust along with an LLC, along with a 508? I mean, are these entities limited or dependent on the state? It will determine whether or not.
You know what? You used to be able to create as many LLCs as you wanted to in a day, or any. Actually, I should say EIN numbers as you wanted in a day, under the IRS. IRS changed it now, so you can only create one a day, right, from your location under the same social or the same ITIN. So, if you got 5 people in your membership, right, and you want each one of them people to set up a different organization that y'all going to use, that can be done. But only one person can use one social, one ITIN per day to set up an EIN number.
That's very important. We have somebody, Eugenio. He has something, a question in the chat. I'm not quite sure if you can see it, but it says, can we get tax exempt IDs for our businesses? Okay.
So yeah, you can. I want you to think of it like if you were a member of a church, or if you worked for a church, right? And the church was to give you an ID, right, to show that you were a church member. Or think if you were a pastor, right, or a minister of that particular organization, right, and you wanted to go out and do shopping, you'd have to show where you were a minister of the organization and the organization had an exemption. So it's okay to create IDs and put the exemption number on them, right? There's no law against doing that. Matter of fact, in our tribe, right, our tribe operates under the exemption of 501A and 501D. And as a tribe, right, we're able to issue out tribal ID, but that tribal ID also has an exemption on it. So anybody who becomes a member of our tribe can use the exemption as well.
What are some of the benefits of becoming a member of the tribe? Because that sounds so juicy, and I just want to be a part of it. I'm a woman, so I just want to, kumbaya. We have our family, and we don't need no outsiders type of thing. But what is, you mentioned certain things as far as the trust is concerned, or the difference between non-resident and resident. But what are some of the benefits of becoming a member of the tribe?
So one of the benefits of being a member of the tribe, number one, is that we can issue you tags within our jurisdiction, right? So you can move away from the jurisdiction of having to be up under a particular state, right? You can come up under our subdivision. There's that. The other benefit is that now you have somewhere you can claim your heritage at, right? Lawfully, you can come back into a jurisdiction that allows you to claim your nationality. We help people claim their nationality. We help you get your national passport. We help you do your genealogy.
Yes.
We help you with your tax-exempt businesses, and we help people set up their trust, right? And all of that is protected up under the rules of what political subdivisions can do, right? Body politics. So one of the biggest things really is the protection of a body politic.
That's amazing. That sounds really great to me. Well, moving on, we're going to just do like a few more questions because I know this brother have to go. He have his business affairs. It says, Joey, you went over that at the New York City seminar. Yes, he went over some of that.
I probably did. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. We're going to be doing another seminar in New York, too, at the top of the year.
Okay,
so I look forward to that.
Okay, we'll be there. If you can't find what number SSN, the state, etc., you use to start your company, how can you recover that information? Oh, okay. So now you're trying to find it.
Says if you can't find what number SSN, the state you use to start your company, how can you? Oh, so a lot of times, the only thing that you can do is call the IRS up. And when you call the IRS up, they're going to ask you. They're actually going to ask you for the information that you gave them. Most times they won't ever resend you the paperwork, but they can give you the number if you call them. You got to call them.
Sometimes, so once you miss that paper, that's that. So that's very important, guys. When you make those numbers and you get that, you get the paper, you got to, scan it, make copies of it, make multiple copies of it. And, pass it out to different family members just in case you lose one, put one in a safe somewhere or whatever. Okay, so Jason has a question.
Hey, what you got, Jason? Jason Tilley.
After making the illegal trust property, do we go to probate court to remove the debt? Oh, good question.
So first of all, Jason, respect for you asking that.
Respect.
The word is spelled Enlegis. It's ENSLEGIS. Enlegis. And the trust property. So basically, after you make the Enlegis trust property, it says, do we go to probate court to remove the debt? So it works a little different than that because the trust becomes the executor. So then you have to have the executor deal with the estate of the Enlegis. Right, so the trust never actually steps in, right, in between that. Normally, because it's trust property, the executor steps in. And do you go to probate court? You can go to probate court, right? But you got to make sure that you got a proper argument to go in probate court. That's an equity court. That's an equity jurisdiction. So if it was me, I would, before I step to court, even though all roads do lead to court, shout out to Jonah for that.
Shout out to Jonah.
I think that when you're dealing in the equity jurisdiction, right, you have to understand that the debt is not always an equity matter. So the best way to step to a lot of the so-called pretender lenders, right, in that particular realm would be to send them third-party debt collection letters, right, to deal with them the way a creditor would deal with them. So a lot of times as a trust, you can deal with another creditor because a trust is a creditor. So you can deal with another creditor from the aspect of writing instruments, number one, sending out letters of credit, sending out accord of satisfactions, right? Doing discharge, right? And doing shit lawfully. Because, see, everybody wants to – this is a good book y'all can get your hands on, right? This is a book that's called Selected Commercial Statutes, right? UCC book. Everybody wants to deal with UCC. So if you're going to deal with UCC, okay, understand that UCC only takes place and it's only supposed to be used, right, from a creditor aspect properly. And when I say only supposed to be used, I'm talking about from the aspect of when you're trying to discharge debt, right? Everybody wants to discharge debt, and that whole secure party creditor shit is bullshit, right? Do it from the aspect of being in trust, and then you can step in and really use the UCC.
So that trust is
I hope
like
that answers your question, Jason.
I hope so. Once again, guys, we're just going to get through to a few questions, and after that, we're going to have to go over to the blog talk, and he's going to be speaking more about certain things that we spoke about today. Somebody wrote, laughing out loud. Do you get the tax-exempt certificate through the trust of your trust owns, or do you get the tax-exempt certificate through the trust of your trust owns company? Is it or your trust owns company? Can you rewrite it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a tax, first of all.
Oh wait, Joey, I lost you on the sound again. I lost you. Oh, somebody calls you. It does that. You're good. Uh-oh, can't hear you again. I think whenever you get a phone call, it knocks your
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I know something to drink. Make lemonade. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you, Joey. Something to drink. Yes. Sorry, guys. Yes, Yusuf, it's no sound on his end, right? Not mine, right? Or you don't hear any sound at all? Okay.
He'll come back in.
All right. You guys.
He'll come back in momentarily.
I'm sorry, your question got skipped. Let me go back. I'm not trying to. I don't want nobody to bite me off with. All right. I'm sorry. Thank you. What? This is what I get? How you pronounce Yochanan El Bay? I'll sorry if I mispronounce your name. When he gets back on, I'll definitely answer your question. I'll read your question to him so that he can answer it. Okay? My apologies.
Okay.
I think he's on the line right now with the moderator trying to figure things out. But I hope you guys are sitting back and enjoying this information. It's juicy, and As we speak, I'm setting up my entities. Well, I have one already set up, but I definitely after speaking to him last week, am setting up some entities here so I can get myself right. You know what I'm saying? Get myself right. I already personally, I have my trust. I got my trust and learned about it through them. And so I'm very grateful for that. And now it's just time to make moves on the business end. That's all. That's all. You guys got to make sure, like, you get this webinar, you be in attendance, you got your notes, because there's no excuse for us not to be successful. And what I like about Joey is that I feel like him conversating with us now is just like, a general conversation. But when you get to the webinar, rest assured, he's showing documents. He's showing you how to fill things out. He's showing you how to set things up. So although this is perfect, how he's explaining it now, but wait till you get to that webinar. You're going to be like, I'm good. I'm Gucci. And that's what I like. That's what I like. Show me how to fill out these entities. Show me how to write these documents, and I can take it from there. I do have a brain, but I just want to make sure that things are being done right. And if somebody already filled out an application with the IRS, or somebody already did something, then it's kind of a blueprint, right? So that's what I like about it. Peace, Joey. I think you were answering one of the brothers' questions before we dropped off. I think it was Eugenio. Oh, yeah, we can't hear him again?
Your audio, Joey.
Yeah. Oh, my God, who said that? They said I'm a good host? Thank you. I haven't taken any classes with this, but I do appreciate that. That makes me feel so great, and I'll work on that craft. But thank you so much. If we have the opportunity for him to get his vocals in check, I don't know. I see him there. We'll have him answer that, and then we'll go back and answer one more question, and then we'll have to just beg him to come back on again. Well, no matter what, y'all see me in the webinar, I can tell you that much. Yes, I can hear you. We just
Hello.
Yep, good to go.
All right.
Do you remember where you left off at, or?
What was the question?
That would be Eugenio. Something about, do I get the tax exempt certificate through the trust, or does the trust own it? I believe that's what he was trying to say.
So a tax exempt certificate can be issued in a couple different ways. You can either get one issued to you through the state. You can use the Constitution, right? Or the IRS can issue you one. Right? So it depends on what type of organization that you got set up. It's going to depend upon what type of tax exempt entity that you have, will determine how you can issue out certificates and tax exempt ID cards. So we'll be going over that in that webinar.
Okay, can you guys hear him? He's going to be going over that in the webinar. Please give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear him.
Is it hard to hear me? Do I need to put these more?
No, I can hear you very clearly. I just want to make sure they can. In the meantime, while they're letting me know, I'm gonna read this question to you. Then this will be the last question. Can an unincorporated business owned by an express trust be organized under the charitable purposes because the beneficiaries are receiving gifts in its administration and distribution?
Hey, ask the question one more time.
Yeah, I know. It was a lot. Well written, too. Can an unincorporated business owned by an express trust be organized under charitable purposes because the beneficiaries are receiving gifts in its administration and distribution? So can an unincorporated? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And the reason why is because we have to remember that unincorporated associations can be set up in different types. Remember, I told you earlier that they can be set up as charitable organizations. So anything can be owned by an express trust, right? A pair of shoes could be owned by an express trust, right? But it goes a little deeper than that, right? So when you set up the entity itself under the actual trust itself, what you want to remember is that the actual organization, right, depending upon what it's set up to do, whether it's charitable, non-charitable, right, it can actually operate under the trust, okay, and it can go and claim exemptions, right, but the beneficiaries are who benefit from it, right, ultimately. So, for instance, I got a guy in Detroit, right, and what he does, he creates salads. And one of the things I told him, I said, you need to actually redo what you're doing for the salads, right? And you could actually turn around and you can actually give out a couple of salads a month, right? So if you give a couple of salads out a month,
right,
that will actually allow you to be able to reset up your business, right? Claim an exemption, right? And then you can be a civic organization now, because now you uplift and follow humanity by giving out free salads. And then the beneficiaries, right? You're giving all your money back to the trust, so everybody that's in the trust benefits from it. Even the trustees can benefit from it.
This is a lot of tea for the show.
Very good question.
I'm taking notes, brother. I'm taking notes. I don't know if you guys taking notes, but we taking notes. You see, he got the chains on. You know what I'm saying? He got the chains representing. I'm pretty sure the sisters is looking at him in the room. He got the corporations going. I don't know. Let me sit. You sound real educated here, brother. All right, you sound real educated.
Well,
I wanna be a beneficiary. I wanna get benefits. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be at the webinar. I'll meet you on the other side in the private.
One of the rules to the game is own nothing, control everything.
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Remember that shit, man. Own nothing, control everything. I got a whole bunch of shit that I can control, right? But I don't own shit.
Ooh.
I don't own none of this shit that I got on. Trust on this. These chains belong to the trust. This hat belongs to the trust. These glasses, all this shit belongs to the trust.
If controlling is looking sexy like how you looking sexy, I control any day. I'm good, all right?
I'll thank you.
Okay, I'm good. You on your grown and sexy. We can control. Listen, man, I appreciate you. I definitely don't want to go too long in this. We would love to have you back anytime, down to the hour into the webinar. I don't care. People are writing in here like crazy. I don't know what they saying, but right now they talking about facts. Who's saying facts? The sexy part, the control part? Which one is facts? I don't know. The corporation part or the beneficiary part? Let me know. What's going on? Man, he just dropped some jewels. I'd like you to just mention your social handle, your website, where we can meet you at, because we can't give y'all everything. First of all, it's just too much. And we appreciate you guys so much for coming in and rocking with us. Now, 2021, we should all be balling. There's no excuses. I don't know. I don't want to, I heard Joey, he riding something nice, I don't know. What's your car? What kind of car you got? What you riding? Let me be a little bit nosy real quick. What you riding? Let the people know.
Well, I got a few different whips, I do have recently, I put a Jaguar in trust.
Yeah, Joey, he's private. Joey, I like him. He's kind of like, he's private, and he's not like a flashy type of guy. I like that about him. But he got a few things. I'm just trying to let you guys know.
I got a few things. I'll let Jonah, put his cards out there. He got a car loud enough for both of us. I like to keep my shit private, but I got some nice things, man. I've been very fortunate to be able to do good commerce and to be able to acquire some nice assets to put my trust. And I'm appreciative of that. But believe me when I tell you, I ain't riding no bicycles.
All right, y'all heard that? Okay. Unless it's a ninja or some shit, you popping willies or something. But I just say that to say, not to be bragging, but sometimes because I'm in the mindset, You know, like, look, you know, are you selling me a dream? Did you apply it to yourself? And he got it, y'all. Trust me, he got it. So you're in the right hands, and I just want to make sure that the people are going to come to the webinar because they have to be confident in knowing that they in the right hands.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. This is definitely about public and private, and
right.
And knowing the difference between how to operate in the public and the private and getting to that bag, right? And I know a lot of people get this information because they want to get to a certain level with money, right? But your information, your knowledge that you acquire is where your money's going to come from. I mean, all the knowledge I have, right, and the more knowledge that I continue to get, right, it's what elevates my life. It's what makes things better for me, right? Because I haven't had a job in 5 years. I've been teaching this information going on 11 years, right? So I used to have a job, right, and teach this information. And if you've been around me long enough, if you've been listening to me on the radio long enough, y'all remember when I was working at the car wash, busting cars. Niggas remember when I was in my classroom with my kids teaching, right? I'd hop on the radio on my breaks, right? So you have to continuously grow in this information and understand that where you at today ain't where you're going to be in 5 years, and it might not be where you want to be in 5 years, right? So it's a continuous, it's growth. Right, so you got to keep growing with the information, man. Keep studying, find new shit to study, find new shit to dig into, right? And don't think that you know it all, right? Because a wise man knows that he don't know shit.
He don't know nothing. Tell him, bro. Tell him. A wise man once said he knows nothing at all. It's facts.
Yeah, man.
Man, we got to give thanks to you, man. And I like that, your humbleness, and just keep reminding the people that the information is the wealth. The information is the power. And, you know, I wish you nothing but great success. I know there's going to be new people knocking on your door because this is a platform where you're speaking to the people in the hood, man. The people in the hood need to get this information, and they don't need to be lied to. And I know some of you guys may have been ripped off. You know, you may have given your money to people who, you know, who say, I'ma do it. These people will teach you how to go out and do for yourself. I don't know the saying, but it says you can take a man, you can give a man a fish, or you can teach him how to fish for himself, and he'll eat for a lifetime, something of that nature.
Yeah. It's you can give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime.
Ashe. So with that being said, you know, this is what I personally know that Joey, he's giving you that raw, and he's going to show you how to go out there and get the bag. Now the thing is, you can't blame him if you don't go. After he shows you how to do it, you know what I mean? After you have access to him, it's up to you to go out and get it. And I personally have seen his growth and his development, and I hope that in time he will see mine as well, because I'm going to utilize everything. I'm not going to be flashy. I'm going to be like you. I'm going to be on the low because I get paranoid. I don't want nobody trying to come kill me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm, because I be knocking like, Joey, they trying to kill me. You know, you're like, woman, calm down. You know, but I just want you guys to know that you're in the right hands. So once again, we'll constantly keep telling you down to the last hour when this webinar is going to drop and what it's going to be about. And he has everything already lined up. All right, so shout out to the chat. Where's my moderator? Teach a man how to fish, and he can eat for a lifetime. That's peace.
Yo, that's a fact.
Jay Bay, thank you, sis.
Yo, I see my man Terrence said the Most High told him to go get an island. I feel you, and it's a whole bunch of islands to sell out there too, my G. So go get you an island and make sure that you put that monkey in trust.
And let me tell y'all something. This is the last thing I have to say. We wasted too much time with everything that's going on. Listen, poverty is not an option. You know, you have parents that are homeschooling. They may need assistance and help with, you know, a teacher here. We may need to get an island. You know what I'm saying? These people over here, in my opinion, are trying to kill us. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that now we got to get on our A game. We got to be in these classrooms. We got to be on these webinars. And because, you know, we got to get this information. Poverty is not going to help us right now. Okay? Getting into this tribe is going to help us understand this knowledge and the knowledge of self, building and doing commerce with your people. That's what we need to do right now. We don't got time to play games no more. All right, something is happening and we don't want to be a part of what's happening. It's not conducive to our lives and we don't have to accept it, especially when we know all this information. Moderator. All right, the Sunday, if you guys want a piggyback off, I'm sorry? Okay, early Sunday morning, we will be having a licensed nurse. So early Sunday afternoon, we will be having a licensed nurse. She'll be coming in and speaking about, once again, the vaccines, speaking about your health. And then after that, we will have a private chat called the Sunday Bill where we speak about a lot of stuff. I'm certain that we'll go over a little bit of what Joey spoke about today and also Jonah Bay. So if you guys want to be a part of any of that, you can hit us up on YouTube. On Sunday, we'll be live, but you also can put your information, send us your information through email.
And the Sunday Bill will ultimately lead into Joey's show, The Bottom Line, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio.
We're going to repeat that again, and for those who didn't hear.
Yeah, call-in numbers 347-989-0194. And if you need a link, the MakeMoreCommerce.com, there's a link up there, or type in New Evolution Radio on Blog Talk, and check out our archives on SoundCloud. Type in Google The Remedy Archives. You'll find me and Jonah Bay's archives on there.
The Remedy.
Going back about 5 years. Yep.
Remedy. And they have a plethora of testimonies.
Yep.
A lot of testimonies. People who were about to damn near go to jail. And this information helped them. Child support? Oh, man, I heard it all. So you guys are in the right hands. I don't know about anybody else. I'm not trying to debunk anyone else's information out there. But you guys are in great hands. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are passionate about what they do. And this is what they do. And they do it very well. All right, moderator, you take over.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, it's true. It's nothing but the truth. It's the truth. Because I'm a mother, so I wouldn't sit up here and tell a whole lie, you know what I'm saying, and lead people astray. You know, I can only tell you from my experience and other people's experience, and it's really great, you know. Everyone has their ups and downs, but these brothers are solid. So I expect everyone here to be on that webinar and also the blog talk this Sunday. Don't be late. Don't you got something going on Friday morning as well?
Yeah, so Fridays we normally do open forum Friday with Jonah, but we haven't been on in a while. So
okay.
I got to holler at him and see if we're gonna get on.
Okay.
If we don't do this Friday, we'll probably be back on next Friday.
Okay.
You know, we took a break for a while, but we'll be back on soon. And then Saturday is the Entrepreneur Show,
yes.
And then Sunday, if you want to get on Sunday is when I drop all the law information and we just go in and we just build on law and you know, civics and all that good shit.
Lawful Sunday.
7 on Sundays, 7 on Saturdays, 10 a.m. on Fridays. All right.
All right. Peace to the gods. I appreciate you, brother. Love you.
Appreciate you. Yo, peace to everybody. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you go to MakeMoreCommerce.com and get with me.
Yes.
All right. I'm on Instagram under Joey Bounce Ali L Bay. All right, you can get with me over there.
Okay. Copy. All right, see you soon.
Hey, shout out to you, sister. Thank you, Shaka. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Much love to y'all.
All right.
All right. May the ancestors keep blessing y'all.
Yes.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace. That's what it is. If anybody want to call up to have a last minute convo before we end, you may do so. 646-776-3818. I hope everyone had clarity on his presentation today. I know I did. And also, well, the only reason why I had clarity because I wasn't the first time hearing it, but still, in all, it was great going over it again, right? You learn through repetition. So Also, and I hope that everyone's questions were answered as well. If I skipped you, I apologize in advance. My apology. I usually have to scroll up to get the information on the earlier feed. So I do apologize if I skipped over your question. Once again, if you guys want to have a consultation complimentary of House of Harlem TV, the only thing you got to do is have 2 people subscribe, show us the proof, you'll be entered into a raffle, and you'll possibly get that. We did have a winner for Jonah Bay, and her consultation is already paid for. I'm not sure if she has had the consultation already, but hopefully we can get an update from her to see how it went. This is what it is. Also, the sister Jessica will be on Sunday. We may be giving a giveaway with the consultation again. So we're doing the giveaways all the way up till the new year. And then we're going to switch it up. We're going to switch it up with different giveaways, all right? Remember I was saying get away, you guys? I want to get away with everything that's going on. I want to get away.
Yeah.
Moderator, what's going on? It's time for you to take over because I don't know what you've been doing. You've been writing things down. You're trying to plot to set up your trust so you can leave. You think you're going to leave House of Harlem TV just like that? Huh? Because you got this new information? Unbelievable.
I ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. He about it.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna get a little rant going real quick. Yeah, I know how I give it up.
Thank you, Terrence.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like that dude on the Chappelle show. Hey.
So
haters ball.
someone asks, where are the motor face masks from?
The more face mask.
Oh, excuse me. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Somebody need they need their glasses. You can hit him up on Make More Commerce. Those are his masks. They're dope, right?
The masks are dope. Somebody I believe said he picked it up from, but he was working with somebody, a designer, and they put that together. I mean, I kind of want one too.
It's dope. It's dope.
I want one of those myself.
I ain't gonna lie, it's dope. Maybe we all should just buy one, you know what I'm saying, representing at the webinar, be like, gang. He be like, yo, that's what's up. Much love in the house.
Gang up in this piece here, wood.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be on Sunday, early afternoon. Get with us. We're going to be talking about health.
I can't.
Sister Jessica Bay, it's definitely going down. You got to be on there because there's very pertinent information that you need to know. I mean, one thing that I'll say in regards to that is just look up mRNA.
M like Macy's, RNA. Let me type it in the chat. This is going to be a topic of discussion.
So we want to get y'all caught up to speed on just becoming familiar with that because it's part of the plan that some people have for you. Now, if I may.
Terrence, question mark, right? Come in on Sunday. We're gonna talk about this. All right? Make sure you don't take the vaccine before Sunday. That's all I can tell you.
If I may, I may read this on Sunday, but I may have an update on this information Sunday. Right?
What do you want to read? Should we do that?
Yeah, real quick. I mean, it doesn't have just we're gonna read this. Yeah. So
Yes, Waji. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Messenger, and this is where I'm going with it. I'm glad you put that word up there, brother. You know what I'm
I can't. The chat.
Because
I love the chat.
We're about to get some real quick work, and then Sunday, you definitely need to be on. So then it says, according to NowTheEndBegins.com, right? This article, basically, the headline says, it may not be the mark of the beast just yet, but the coming messenger 33 COVID-19 vaccine will absolutely control your buying and selling. Alright? Check this out.
Come again? Rewind selector.
Okay.
COVID
it
will
may
what?
not be the mark of the beast yet, but the upcoming Messenger 33 COVID-19 vaccine will absolutely control your buying and selling.
Where they do that at? It's going to control your buying and your selling?
Yes, it will. Now,
oh Lord.
there's one passage. I'm only going to read this passage. If you want to get the rest, you got to tune in on Sunday. Because this is not a game. Okay? It says, we showed you yesterday how in the UK they are saying the vaccine won't be mandatory, but immunity passports absolutely will be. Immunity passport. It says, so what you will have is a not mandatory Messenger 33 vaccine, because it will be the only way to get the immunity passport. That's how the snow blows. In Israel, they are also saying that the vaccine won't be mandatory, but the economic and social pressures that will be applied will, in effect, persuasively motivate you to receive the Messenger 33 COVID vaccine. Commentators are even using the very words of buying and selling, exactly how the Lord tells us it will be in Revelations 13.
I hope it.
Stop right there. To get the rest of this information here, you gotta tune in on Sunday with our sister Jack.
What do they have to put in the chat before we close out if they want to have a free consultation with Joey? And I suggest you guys on. I expect the chat to be litty on Sunday, because what the hell? Y'all better be informing your friends, and your other friends, and I'm not gonna even say how Shaka says it of an enemy. We're not gonna do that.
Will be roughly about 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, and we'll go, for a little while, and that will lead up to the Sunday Build, which is a private forum, so we can go into a plethora of different things without worrying about censorship and prying and ear hustling.
Wait, what was the question? She said, "Do you gonna leave House of Harlem?" Hell yeah, he gonna leave. You think this nigga already look? He had his pen and paper. He trying to leave. He ain't saying nothing. If you go to the previous, if you go to the previous shows, that nigga was talking a mile away. He was quiet today. He's like, I got what I need. I'm out now. I'm like, all right, that's how we doing it. Oh man.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? So
it's about to go down. This sister gonna come with. She gonna come with the facts.
Yeah, and I'm bringing receipts Sunday.
We gonna be making it rain on it. You know what the receipts?
I'm bringing receipts Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking mess and I'm taking names. That's how we gonna do it.
Oh, you taking names or you naming names?
I'm naming names, taking names.
Okay.
All that. So
I'm over.
we definitely love and appreciate everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button so we can
Please
get higher up on the algorithm chart.
Yeah.
So more people can be exposed to this information and have a means to liberate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because like we said in what was said in the chat, knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? And when you have a great deal of power,
doing it all
there's
on
a
Sunday.
great deal of responsibility that goes along with it. So let's do our ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
Let's barbecue and boogaloo.
Well,
because if you got me, I got you.
You rhyming now? Or?
I do a little something, but
Yes, PJ, we are doing it all on Sunday.
Yeah,
we're doing it all this month. If you see how the schedule, how I'm going insane, like I'm going ham on them. We're gonna make sure that week 2021, as soon as that little stick hit 12, we good. We got all it. We've already set up everything. We got all the information. We have an understanding of everything that's going on. Because 2020, it wasn't right for us.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for Uncle Murder to drop the whole shit. What happened? The whole 2020.
Yeah. We need to wrap up.
Oh. That's right. Uncle Murder about to wrap it up. Let us know what happened. Y'all be like, damn, we really went through all of that. And the next thing you know, we got Jonah and Joey giving us this information, and we out of here. So shout out to Uncle Murder, the subliminals. I can't. All right, guys, come on. We gotta get out of here. And talking about subliminals, that's what we're gonna have to be using, or we're gonna be flagged. We gotta use these codes. I mean, there was a mass censorship around October 15th, and every time I post certain things, we get censored. So we have to start speaking in codes. We're gonna have to start using our intelligent minds and speaking in codes.
Right.
And the most important thing is the Sunday Bill. We have to start speaking privately. Not start, but for those who are not starting, but for us, we're continuing. We have to speak privately on a private forum in order to make sure that we're okay and our children are okay.
Yep.
It's a time to play, but it's damn sure a time to work,
And if you want to get in on the Sunday build, these are the emails.
You said facts.
You can
the revolution shall not be televised. You guys know. These past few days have been very uplifting for me. I mean, a lot of things have been put in perspective.
Oh man, damn.
Brothers, if y'all want to talk about threesomes, please hit me up. I want to know. I need.
That didn't sound too right.
It doesn't.
The way you said
the way I said that.
I said
talk. I said talk about threesomes.
I'm letting you know that shit was crazy.
I would like, as I mentioned earlier, for a few brothers to come on a panel to speak about relationships. But there's one question in particular. We're grown here. There's one question in particular that I want to speak about, and that is if a man is in love with a woman, married to a woman, in love, whether he's married, is his girlfriend, but he's in love. Would he subscribe to her giving him the opportunity to have a threesome? I was told by another man that, if a real man really loves, and I'm paraphrasing how he said it, if a real man really is in love with a woman, he wouldn't subscribe to that, even if it's, although it's just with another woman, and he would get his kicks out of it, but he wouldn't subscribe to it. So that led me into wanting to have an open forum discussion about relationships, and I just wanted some men to keep it real. What? Leave me alone. You know what? At this point, cut. Let's get on here. Yo, I would never. You know this man right here. My brother Haas.
He says, not true. Be fruitful and multiply.
I know. You see, and this is exactly why I'm going to have your ass on the forum. I don't even know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So, you know, we enjoyed. We had a great time having this discussion, getting all of this great information from Joey.
Right. I'm eating my dinner late.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on here with this
and as we just waiting for the moderator to cut it out. So you guys, we're giving you about 5 seconds to write down the information. Did you write the
Yeah. It's onhighradio@gmail.com and Soul Ascended 888 @gmail.com for all of the Sunday build invites. Just send us a link, send us an email saying I want to get on the Sunday build with y'all, and
what about
you'll be put on the weekly email list for the invite.
And what about the giveaway?
The giveaway, you have to get 2 people to subscribe in order to be entered in for the free consultation with Joey. You have to show us proof of the 2 people, or at least put in the email the 2 people's names so that we can go on the page and see those 2 people have subscribed, and you will be entered for the free consultation. Now, like Kia said, someone already won, and their consultation is on the way.
We got the receipts, guys.
We got receipts, and we don't play games like that. We about uplifting fallen humanity, and we about getting our own people right, because I'm not worried about what the next person is doing. I gotta make sure I'm right.
That's right.
So that I'm prepared for whatever comes my way.
Shame.
Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So for the hostess with the mostest, Kia L.
Thank you.
For the co-host, Waji.
Thank you.
For all of my moderators and all of my brothers and sisters who participated and in the chat and listened and you know what I'm saying, and got with the brother Joey. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And
sorry.
This is what it's going to be.
I'm
about.
Sorry.
Your Haas.
This is my brother Haas.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
So,
that's the soldier. He got my back all day.
Of course he does.
And be sure to check out my brother Young Haas, because he has a lot of great music out there. You could check him out on
BX.
Well, you can check him his handle, BX Young Haas 718. That's his handle on Instagram. You could catch him. You could check him out on iTunes, Spotify, all of the online retailers. You could check him out on Bandcamp. You could check him out. BX Young Haas. My bad. It's at BX Young Haas. That's his Instagram handle, and you can check him out on all platforms. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, you can check Haas on all platforms, and the music is fire.
And Paparazzi TV.
Oh yeah, we cannot forget one of our community brethrens. We got Paparazzi TV. Check that out as well. We're going to be doing some more filming for the next couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Within the next week.
We got some people coming on.
We working, and we got a good, strong team, you know, and with all of y'all, I could say that we have a good, strong family, you know.
Shout out to Red Velvet.
Yeah, shout out to Red Velvet Entertainment.
And my babies, Homie, Mommy, and Bank Baby.
Absolutely.
Go follow them on IG.
And shout out also to one of our premier sponsors, Bionic Tonic and Pure Body Awareness, the new website, Pure Body Awareness Apparel. So please go check that out. You know, it's a lot of good, dope gear that's up there, and you know, let's build with one another. You know.
And shout out to Diane from Red Velvet Entertainment LLC. She's dope. If you guys, I think she pretty much got her hands full, but you can contact her for all business inquiries.
Yeah, she's working. She's working and grinding like we all are.
Right.
And you know, we trying to be better today than we were yesterday.
All right.
So on that
be quiet, Haas. Yeah.
That being said, we are out of here. Peace and love, everybody, and we'll see y'all on Sunday.
Peace and love.
Be sure to be there Sunday. Let's talk about this health, y'all.
Let's get this health right. Y'all, I'm eating late. It's because of you guys. So y'all owe me one. Y'all got to be out there tomorrow working out with me because it ain't right.
Okay, the email is onhighradio@gmail.com.
Shout out to my cookies.
On high. ONHIGHRADIO @gmail.com. On high radio.
Let me type it in.
You know, that's what's going down
on
for
high radio.
No doubt. That's what's up.
Wow.
That's peace.
I'm doing it wrong.
Oh yeah, you Cookie Monster talking about them God body cookies.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You know we got them God body cookies too. Take you to a higher plane. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, did I do that correct? On high radio at Gmail?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's the email right there. And once again, we love y'all. You know,
hit that like button. There's 26 people in this chat right now. Hit that like button.
Yeah, let's get them likes up. You know, show us some love with the like. All right.
That's great.
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace, y'all. Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods.